McDonald's today means 40,000 restaurants around the world, more than 300 billion burgers sold, and a logo recognized even by penguins in Antarctica. But the strangest part of this story isn't the scale. It is the fact that the two brothers from California who created all of this ended up with almost nothing. Their business was taken from them, and the main face of McDonald's became a man who originally just sold milkshake mixes. My name is Vitaly Shevchenko. Today, you'll find out how a family restaurant turned into a global empire, why McDonald's doesn't actually make its real money on burgers, and how the Mafia, the FBI, and a Hollywood-level betrayal all fit into this story. Let's go. In the mid-20th century, America suddenly sped up. Cars filled the roads, and people no longer wanted to sit for hours in cafes with a knife and fork. They needed food that was fast, cheap, and available right in their car. At this moment, two brothers from New Hampshire, Richard and Maurice McDonald, moved to California. But not for burgers, for movies. They carry cameras, build sets, and dream of owning their own cinema. The dream comes true, but the theater is barely alive. Few viewers, almost no profit, 5 years of struggle, and that's it. The brothers realize that dreams are nice, but they still have to eat. So they close the cinema and open a grill restaurant, McDonald's BBQ. They serve hot dogs, ribs, shakes, and had a long line of cars in the parking lot. It seems like life is good. On weekends, crowds flock in, waitresses on roller skates can't keep up, and the cash register is bursting with money. But in the kitchen, there's absolute chaos. Teenagers hang out, flirt, orders get mixed up, control is lost, and the restaurant slowly turns into a noisy mess. So, in 1948, when business is going great, the brothers suddenly shut down the restaurant without any explanation. The whole town is shocked and confused. While customers are guessing what happened, the McDonald's are sketching diagrams on the tennis court behind their house and dissecting the receipts. It turns out that 80% of their profit comes not from hot dogs and ribs, but from simple hamburgers. So they make a radical move. They throw out almost the entire menu and keep only what really works: a hamburger, a cheeseburger, fries, a milkshake, and soda. They turn the kitchen into a conveyor belt. One person grills the patty, the second adds the cheese, the third assembles the burger, the fourth wraps it. The preparation time is about 15 seconds per order, and it looks more like a factory than a classic restaurant. The brothers call this the Speedee Service System, and that decision flips the entire industry. At first, customers are confused. No more roller skating waitresses. No one brings food to the car. They have to walk up to a window and wait for a bag. But very quickly, everyone understands the trick. No delays, minimal waiting time, a consistently same taste, and the lines just keep getting longer. And here, a man steps onto the stage without whom McDonald's would not become the monster we know today. His name is Ray Kroc. He's not a chef, not a restaurateur, and doesn't even dream of burgers. His superpower lies elsewhere. He knows how to sell. Throughout his life, Kroc manages to be a pianist, a paper cup salesman, and a typical man of all trades who grabs any chance to make money. At some point, he starts selling a strange device called the multi-mixer, a mixer that can make several milkshakes at once. And suddenly, a small restaurant near Los Angeles orders 8 of these machines at once, which seems suspicious. Ray decides to go and see it with his own eyes. In the morning, he sees an ordinary building in San Bernardino, but by lunchtime, there are already lines of cars around it, and everything works with incredible speed. He pays 15 cents and within seconds gets a hot, juicy burger. Fast, cheap, and without waiters. Kroc meets the owners, 2 ordinary-looking guys, Richard and Maurice McDonald. They show him the kitchen and explain: minimal menu, conveyor-style work, strict rolls, and speed. That's the secret. Ray immediately understands. His mixers are small change, but this format is pure gold. The brothers already have a few franchises in California and Arizona, but they're not obsessed with global expansion. They have one successful restaurant, a stable income, and no headaches. They're vaguely thinking about finding someone to handle franchises, but are in no rush. Ray goes back home, but he can't sleep anymore. In his head, he sees not the multi-mixer, but golden arches and an endless chain of identical restaurants. A week later, he calls the brothers and asks a simple question: what about me? Kroc becomes their franchise agent and in 1955 opens his first McDonald's in Des Plaines, Illinois. He founds McDonald's System Incorporated, the company that will later become McDonald's Corporation. Under the contract, he gets around 1.9 to 2% of the sales from each restaurant, and a part of that money goes back to the brothers. In the end, Ray is left with roughly 1.5 to 1.9%, and he understands he won't become truly rich on those percentages alone. But he hopes to make it up with scale. The first franchises look good on paper, but in reality, things are messier. The restaurants are scattered across states, and each owner does things their own way. Some add new dishes, some raise prices, some ignore cleanliness standards. McDonald's risks splitting into dozens of almost McDonald's locations, and Ray realizes that without strict rules, the system will collapse. He formulates a principle: experiment all you want, but cleanliness, speed, and quality are sacred. This becomes the dogma around which the entire future network is built. At the same time, Harry Sonneborn enters the story, the financial brain of the future empire. He leaves a secure job for an idea and, together with Kroc, begins building not just a chain of cafes, but a fundamentally new type of business. The most important turn happens when Sonneborn suggests creating a company called Franchise Realty Corporation. The idea sounds strange at first. McDonald's will not just open restaurants, but will buy or lease the land they stand on and then sublease it to franchisees. Franchisees will pay not only for the right to operate under the brand, but also rent for the property itself. And the company will get a double stream of income: royalties from sales and rent payments. If a restaurant owner cuts corners and breaks standards, the corporation can not only tear up the contract but also take the location back, because it controls the land. This turns McDonald's into one of the largest commercial real estate companies in the world, disguised as a fast food chain. Burgers become the facade. The real money comes from property. By 1960, McDonald's already has more than 200 restaurants, and the system starts to gain unstoppable momentum. You might think you know the story of McDonald's, but the real tale is far darker and more complex than you can imagine. It's not just about burgers and fries. It's a story of betrayal, ambition, and a ruthless takeover that erased the original founders from history. It all started with two brothers, Dick and Mac McDonald, who invented a revolutionary fast food system called the Speedee Service System in San Bernardino, California. Their restaurant was a local sensation. Then, a milkshake machine salesman named Ray Kroc came along. He saw the potential not just for one restaurant, but for thousands. He partnered with the brothers to franchise the concept, but Kroc's grand ambitions quickly clashed with their cautious approach. Every time Kroc wanted to make a change, the brothers' contract held him back. The tension built until it exploded into open conflict. Kroc, deciding to strike first, offered to buy them out completely: the brand, the system, everything. After some tense negotiations, the brothers named their price: $2.7 million, a colossal sum for 1961. Kroc, risking everything, managed to scrape the money together with the help of his financial wizard, Harry Sonneborn. The deal was done. Kroc had full control. But here's where the story takes a dark turn. According to the McDonald brothers, there was a handshake deal, a verbal agreement for them to receive 0.5% of all future McDonald's sales for life. This was never put in writing. Whether Kroc simply lied or the brothers misremembered, we'll never know for sure. But one thing is certain: they never saw another dime from the company they created. And Kroc wasn't finished. Immediately after the buyout, he forced the brothers to rename their original restaurant. Then, in a final act of corporate savagery, he built a brand new McDonald's just one block away, driving their original establishment out of business within a few years. To add insult to injury, he later declared his own first restaurant in Illinois as McDonald's No. 1, effectively wiping the brothers and their San Bernardino restaurant from the official company history. With the brothers out of the picture, Kroc's machine went into overdrive. He created a rigorous training program for franchisees, often called Hamburger University, and instilled military-like discipline through his operations chief, Fred Turner. But this rigid system also allowed for creativity from the ground up. Brilliant ideas like the Big Mac, the drive-thru, and even the Filet-O-Fish weren't invented by corporate suits. They came from franchisees on the front lines, trying to better serve their local customers. When McDonald's went public in 1965, its stock exploded. Ray Kroc became a multimillionaire overnight. The brand was a global phenomenon. But as the company grew, its problems got bigger and stranger. Fast forward to the 1990s and the infamous McDonald's monopoly promotion. You'd buy a meal, get a game piece, and hope to win anything from free fries to $1 million. It was a marketing masterstroke. To ensure fairness, McDonald's hired an outside security firm, putting a man named Jerome Jacobson in charge of distributing the winning game pieces. But Jacobson, a former cop, saw an opportunity. He realized he could carefully swap the high-value winning stickers with regular ones and sell the winners to a network of friends, family, and eventually, associates with ties to organized crime. For years, he ran a multi-million-dollar fraud ring right under the company's nose. It's estimated that over $24 million in prizes were stolen. The scheme only unraveled when an anonymous tipster called the FBI. The agency launched a massive undercover operation, staging fake commercial shoots to catch the culprits on camera. Dozens were arrested, and the scandal cost McDonald's a fortune in legal fees and public relations damage control. Then came a new enemy, this time from a different front. In 2004, the documentary Super Size Me hit theaters. Filmmaker Morgan Spurlock ate nothing but McDonald's for 30 days straight. The world watched in horror as he gained weight, his cholesterol skyrocketed, and his health rapidly declined. The film ignited a global firestorm over fast food, obesity, and corporate responsibility. McDonald's found itself portrayed as a public health villain. Shortly after, the supersize option quietly vanished from menus, and the company started promoting healthier alternatives like salads and fruit. Officially, they denied any connection to the film, but the timing was undeniable. So with all this drama, how does McDonald's actually make its money? You probably think it's from selling billions of burgers. But that's not the whole story. Ray Kroc's real genius wasn't in fast food. It was in real estate. The core of the McDonald's business model is franchising and property. The corporation buys or leases prime real estate and then rents it out to franchisees, who run the day-to-day restaurant operations. So, McDonald's earns money from rent, a percentage of sales as royalties, and upfront franchise fees. This makes it one of the largest commercial real estate empires in the world. It's a brilliant model that ensures a steady stream of income, even if an individual restaurant is just barely breaking even. Today, McDonald's has a market value of over $200 billion. The company officially celebrates Founders' Day not in honor of Dick and Mac McDonald, but in honor of Ray Kroc. He wasn't the inventor, he was the usurper. He took someone else's brilliant idea, ruthlessly cut them out, and rewrote history to cast himself as the visionary founder. It's a brutal, cynical story, but it reveals a harsh truth about the world of big business. Sometimes, the winner isn't the one with the original idea. It's the one who is more ambitious, more ruthless, and willing to do whatever it takes to gain control. The story of McDonald's isn't just about fast food. It's a lesson in power, ambition, and the creation of a modern legend, built on the ashes of someone else's dream. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into the stories you thought you knew.